Hey man, welcome back to Man Time. Today's episode we are going to talk about how to survive cabin fever. Welcome to Man Time. So on today's episode of Man Time, a little off topic. Down here in Texas, you don't typically hear about cabin fever, but it does exist, just in the opposite way that it exists up north with the snow, wind, ice, and negative temperatures. Down here in this summer, we had a hurricane blow through, and we had like 16, 18 inches of rain between May and the end of July, and it was humid and above 100 feels like every day. Typically when it's a little bit more dry, it's not so bad, but it was so humid this summer. It was staying, feels like 100 until 7 o'clock at night most nights, and when you wake up in the morning it was sometimes 80 degrees or better. And it's just stifling with the humidity. So it's a whole lot of staying inside and finding stuff to do, right? I mean, that's same thing up north in the wintertime. It's just so cold, so wet, so icy, so snowy. Sometimes the roads are snowed over. You just get out there, bundle up, shovel snow, and then get back inside and warm up. I'd say it's almost a little bit easier to avoid cabin fever up north for two reasons. One, you can you can actually keep your house warm, where it's someplace to really come in and warm up, i.e. a fire or heater system of some sort. And two, you can heat auxiliary areas, right? So like a garage, something like that. You could put a wood stove in there or a gas heater or something like that. And as an example of a way to avoid cabin fever, my buddy up north, he recently finished out his garage, insulated it, put in an electric heater. He has a torpedo heater to really get it heated up quick. But it is insulated, and then what he'll do is he'll park outside, he'll heat up the garage, and clean the floor. And him and a couple other buddies started racing slot cars. And so they got a bunch of pieces of slot car track, and they've got Tupperware sets like divided up where they got 20 slot cars in there. And in the wintertime they'll shut the doors, turn the heat on as soon as he gets off of work on like a Friday or Saturday, and set up and build a track or two or three and just kind of configure the track differently during the weekend or whatever, and have it set up, and they can race during the weekend like that. And it's pretty neat. It's a way to keep your mind active and keep busy when you really don't want to go outside. So down in Texas here, it's the same exact scenario, except the AC can barely keep up with the 110 feels like, typically around 100 for the actual temperature pretty much every day, but with the humidity and stuff. And it was zero wind this summer also. So the AC was having a hard time keeping up. In the house during the day, and in the afternoon, it was about 82 to 84 degrees sometimes on the really hot days. And the ability to cool a big shop or a garage down here becomes very difficult. More difficult than, say, just heating up a cold space, with a wood stove and a torpedo heater and a gas heater might be up north. So you're really limited to inside. So I'm picking activities that I can do that are going to keep my mind busy and just keep me kind of mentally active. Like I said, it's 84 in the house. I'm not going to jump on the treadmill or the elliptical in 80 degree plus weather in the house. So it was a whole lot of trying to find something interesting to do, during that time frame. I did take a couple vacations up north, which is a great way to avoid cabin fever. So in the south here, it's taking trips up north. In the north in the wintertime, it's taking trips down south. That's going to be my second piece of advice there. get a space where you can feel comfortable, find something to do in that space, and then at some point make that move and be able to enjoy the outdoors. If you're an outdoorsy type like me, I went up north twice this summer, once to Idaho, once to South Dakota. Did some fishing up there, did some hiking, did some camping, just enjoyed the outdoors in normal temperatures. It was really nice. Saw some family, saw some friends, did some cool things, and that was a great way to stay active. Also, found a hobby while I was up there, bourbon. So my two hobbies that I picked up this summer were bourbon and bourbon hunting and guns. So this is one that I built. I ordered parts and got them online and got them at an FFL and built a couple guns. So it's pretty neat. You can actually buy kits of gun parts and then just spec out like exactly what you want, order it. And the neat thing is, the only thing with the AR that's FFL is that lower piece where the handle mounts up there. That's the only one you have to actually get from the gun store, where they have to run the background check and all that. So I got like 2 or 3 of those, and then just bought different kits. So this one here, this one's going to be a PSA. It's got B5 stuff on it. This one is going to be a 20-inch barrel, stainless. This one is kind of my sniper setup. But yeah, I built several of these, watched online videos on how to build them, figured it out, started tinkering, and it was a fun learning experience, learning how to put a gun together. Pretty neat. Vortex scope on there. Just some cheap kind of Amazon accessories for some of it, like that front bipod there. Those are pretty expensive if you go with like a high-end, mil-spec type of thing. But otherwise, that is an amazing, accurate gun. And I was able to use my range on some cool mornings. There was like a handful, like I can count on one hand, a morning where I could come out and not just be completely drenched in sweat. So I did that a couple times. But now it's like springtime all over again, right? It's like breezy and not humid and not 100, so it's nice. But yeah, the second thing was bourbon. So when I was on vacation, there was a friend, my wife's friend's husband, was really into bourbon. And he had this huge whole selection of stuff, and we got to talking about bourbon, let me taste a couple things. And then, come to find out, there's a whole underground community of both for guns and for bourbon on YouTube. A third thing that I would say there is pay for the YouTube subscription. There's nothing like getting a new hobby, getting really interested, wanting to find out more information, and then having to watch 30-minute ads about olive oil or weight loss or car insurance or whatever to get to that information that you want to get to. So I think it's $100 a year, maybe $200, something like that. Well worth it just to not have to deal with the commercials, and you can access all of the information that you want for your new hobby, whatever that may be. Typical man stuff for me, though, bourbon and guns. Not at the same time, of course. But yeah, bourbon. So I started looking at bourbon channels, like people like taste testing bourbon and blind testing bourbon and doing like the best of bourbons and stuff like that. And then you go to the liquor store and you realize you can't find any of these bourbons that anybody was talking about. And then you go down the bourbon aisle and there's like 100 bourbons that nobody on these YouTube channels is talking about. So then you got to dive deeper into YouTube to figure out, like, all right, of the ones that are actually on the shelves, which ones are good. I'm not going to walk in the store and pick up a Stag or even an E.H. Taylor or any of these Buffalo Traces, like Weller's. Like, so I was going in there, like, trying to make relationships with with liquor stores, and they're like, no, we don't have that. 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 So then you gotta buy a couple bottles to like figure out where your profile is at, and then you're doing like research on the different distilleries because they've all kind of got like their lane of a flavor profile. So then you're picking up this and that and this, and then you're trying those, and it's pretty fun. So yeah, after work or on the weekends and stuff like that, when it's like 80 plus degrees in the house and you can't work outside, you can, experience something new, like tasting a new bourbon or putting a new accessory on a rifle or something like that, or playing with slot cars and setting up a slot car track and putting together a new slot car, something like that. Some of the other things that I've done in the past has got into like drones and figuring out how to like program and fly drones. But there again, in the summer, it's so freaking hot, you really can't do it outside. So it's like purchasing them, setting them up, test flying them inside, stuff like that. You're going to invest a little bit of money, but it's going to keep you sane, through the cabin fever stages. But now that it is springtime, I'm going to get back at it. I'm going to shoot a couple videos here for you guys to include other manly things that men do. I need to get some tools back in order. Just got done putting new axles and ball joints in my daily. And what else? What else happened? It's only been not summertime for about a week now, so I'm just getting back into the swing of things. But anyways, that's going to do it for today on Man Time. Get out there. Have you some Man Time too.